You're on.
Oh, I'm on.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear one. Your question about practicing, huh? I practiced a lot, and most everybody I know practiced a lot. Everybody had different forms, and there's different forms of practicing, I guess. There's, when you're really just working on skills and technique, learning to play your instrument, learning the vocabulary. I think the time to practice is when you're young, because you don't get time otherwise. I practiced anywhere from 3 hours a day to 10 hours a day. That was just on the practice pad or on a drum set. And then I would go play, and go to jam sessions. I think one of the keys of practicing is to know what you're going to do before you go in there. Usually a lot of people go in and they just fool around with this for a little while, and they fool around with that for a little while, and then they've blown an hour or two and they haven't really worked on anything. But I think the point of practicing is to really set out real goals for yourself. I want to achieve this, and I want to achieve that, and then you could map it. I kept journals. Joe Morello made me keep a journal of what I was doing. So I think it's like deciding what you're going to do before you go in, and then a certain fundamentals of using a metronome to work on things. I'm trying to think, Then there's the point of also practicing improvisation every day, making sure that, or creative practice, where you're not working on anything, you're just playing. Leave time to spontaneously compose. Or if you've learned a tune, then play on the tune. But don't practice it, you see. Actually play it, actually perform it, and forget about everything you practiced, Usually, like, we work on a tune and then we try to use all the stuff we worked on while we perform it. But the point is to practice it, learn it, really learn it by, by memory, by heart, as they used to say. Learning all the aspects of the tune, the words to a tune, and then it's a matter of digesting it. So usually we learn the tune and we go out and try and play it with people, and then that's a different experience. But we're bringing the practice to that. That's bringing the past to the present. So if you're learning a tune, you should be playing it every day. Get up in the morning, pick up your instrument if you can, if this is a drum set or something, and play it before breakfast. Play it while you're having breakfast. Play a version of it. Then you'll start to really know that tune. And I think the important thing about practicing is you don't learn something by doing it once. That's just doing it once. Practice is based on a lot of repetition, I think, doing the same thing. For me now, when I can practice, I like a couple hours. Sometimes it's just an hour. My minimum is I try to get to the instrument once a day. Practicing maybe what I'm working on for a project, or just practicing basics on the drum set. Real basic stuff. It's so stupid stuff. And part of it is just to keep the physical body so it works properly. I know there's some stuff I'm leaving out, but unless you got a question. Yeah, I think it's just really looking at it as part of your discipline, part of what you do every day as a musician who practices music, right? Music is your practice, like doctors practice medicine. Even lawyers, they say, I practice law. So there's that aspect of it. Your technical practice, your building of skills, is part of what you do every day as an artist. if I'm painting, per se, you see a lot of paintings and drawings around the office, right? Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but sometimes I'm just working on something that I might discover 5 paintings away from that, Just seeing what happens if I use this color, if I get into, brown or black or whatever, or yellow. What does yellow and black do together? So I think it's kind of it's not something you're ever going to get rid of doing. Everybody I know would like to practice, like to have the time. And the time to do that is young, when you're young, when you have the time to develop skills. Being spontaneous is only, takes a lot of skill and training to really be spontaneous. It takes a lot of virtuosity. Otherwise you're limiting the music, you're limiting your forms, you're limiting your options. So I think it's really important to see, and that's see what you want, where you want to get to, see what you want to learn, find your weaknesses, work on them, not the garage band attitude of only playing the part of the tune over and over again. Finding new problems, finding new questions. That's your job for the rest of your life if you're going to play this music. That's your job. And I just think we don't talk about it enough, or how you do it. And a good teacher is someone who gives you a good practice schedule too. Remember, practicing is where you're finding out how you learn things. And everybody's different. I take a long time to learn something. But once I've got it, I've got it. And we'll talk about it at the camp this year too. It's a good question for somebody to bring.